Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. First of all, we're doing a little bit differently tonight because, I've been at my son's track meet and wanted to support him, and his last event just got done about, just a few minutes ago. And so we're sitting in the parking lot at the school for Wellness Wednesday. So welcome, especially all you new ladies in the group. We're going to have fun tonight. We're going to do a rapid fire Q&A because there were so many questions. I've got pages and pages of questions that I just didn't have time to answer during the Q&A session of the last masterclass. And I felt like I still owed it to you, ladies who didn't get some of your questions answered. We're going to go rapid fire for a good 30, 40 minutes, at most tonight, to get through as many questions as we can. So, if you can give me a thumbs up, if you can hear me and see me okay. All right. So the first one, I'm going to quickly say my disclaimer because I want you guys to know anything that I do share tonight is going to be health information, not health advice. Don't stop taking, or change the way you're taking any of your medications. If you do feel like you need to make those changes, please discuss this with your prescribing practitioner first. Okay. Consult with him or her. And by attending this Wellness Wednesday, this does not constitute or mean there's a doctor-patient relationship. Okay, so the first question that we're going to get to is, and it's Ravina asks, is there a green powder we can add to smoothies to get our veggies? So first of all, I haven't come across a powdered food supplement that that really is any good. Most of these, if you look into this and these are tested, they contain higher levels of heavy metals and toxins, things that you just don't need, especially when they're produced commercially and they are mass produced and they're doing it as cheaply as possible. They're going to cut corners. You're not going to find a really good supplement. Now, there are some multi-level products out there. I stay clear away from multi-level products. So you're better off, if you're making smoothies, to make vegetable smoothies. Just throw the vegetables in there. That way you're going to get the full nutrition value from those vegetables. Carrie asks another question. Is going gluten-free really the answer? And she went on to say, really an answer for high thyroid globulin antibodies. So she has Hashimoto's, and absolutely gluten-free, going without gluten, in fact, going without grains, mostly because if you have these autoimmune conditions like Hashimoto's with positive antibodies, your immune system is going to react to those proteins that you don't digest properly. So the gluten, we just don't digest it properly. Most of us are. Some studies have shown that 100% of us are sensitive in some way to gluten, the gliadin proteins and gluten. So it's absolutely essential to go gluten-free when you have these autoimmune conditions, because it will trigger your immune system. And what happens in autoimmunity, your immune system is attacking your body, and you don't want to keep triggering that to happen by eating gluten. And I talk a lot about this in the masterclass. There's one of the sessions, sneak preview, right? I talk all about the foods that cause the inflammation and talk about gluten and why it causes so much inflammation. Okay, the next question, Summer and Ida ask, eating a few Brazil nuts a day is supposed to help with the thyroid? So supposedly, there was a follow-up question, actually. Cho asks, are selenium supplements, and she says 200 micrograms good for the thyroid? Supposedly, yes, selenium is excellent support for the thyroid. We need selenium in the conversion process as well as the production process of thyroid hormone. But there really aren't a whole lot of great studies that have been cited or done and cited in the medical world. I think this needs to be studied a lot more because I believe selenium is an important nutrient, and many of the supplements that we make sure our patients get contain selenium. Okay, Jacqueline asks, and this is a little long, I have hyperthyroidism and Hashimoto's. I am allergic to eggs, walnuts, garlic, mushrooms. I am gluten-free, soy, and corn-free. There are so many foods I'm not supposed to eat. If I'm eating a lot of protein, what should I be eating for breakfast? I've been doing just fruit. And then she shares her last hemoglobin A1C was high in the pre-diabetic ranges. She says it's confusing on what to eat. No caffeine too. So for Jacqueline, what I would say is certainly it is absolutely common to have food sensitivities like this, where, you know, in the with the autoimmune condition of Hashimoto's, which is a very destructive, it can be very aggressive, and for her it was causing hyperthyroidism. So it's important to recognize that you know, this is a very individualized process, and while some foods may be good for, some people, other foods, those same foods may not be good for other people. So to answer her question, what should I be eating for breakfast? Well, I can't really say for sure, but what I like to eat for breakfast, and it comes up later in a question too, I like to eat very different, proteins. So eggs, making sure that they are cage-free or pasture-raised chicken eggs. With vegetables, I like to have cabbage, which I saute. I generally like to use grass-fed beef tallow and saute cabbage or other vegetables in that. You can also just use olive oil or avocado oil to saute these vegetables. So that's delicious. I like to have organic turkey or chicken sausage with vegetables for breakfast. Once in a while, I will have a plain coconut milk or almond milk yogurt with some grain-free cereal. So usually is mostly, nuts. So there's various nuts. You don't eat a lot. You don't want to eat a lot because you can get sensitive to nuts if you eat them too much. So those are the types of things I like to eat for breakfast. Maybe have an avocado instead of cabbage, or just leftover vegetables from dinner like zucchini or squash or whatever we had for dinner the night before that was left over. That's perfectly fine to eat for breakfast. Seriously. I mean, I know it's not your pancakes and eggs, pancakes and bacon, things like this. Turkey bacon. Oh, I forgot about that. I like to, and if we do have bacon, it's always going to be, like grass-fed beef bacon or pasture raised, pig, bacon. Okay. And with vegetables, always have breakfast with vegetables. Okay. All right. Natalie and Tony ask, how much is too much protein? Okay. Generally, I like to say stick with about the size of your palm for the protein size that you'll eat for any meal. Simply because if you do eat too much protein, then you won't digest it properly, And it's possible that you will become more sensitive to that protein over time if you eat too much and too frequently. So variation is so important when you're having, eating in general. Variety is the key. Carlene asks, well, let's see. Let's go back. Carrie asks about, are there any food programs like Hungry Root that you would recommend? You don't always know where they source their food. Now, Hungry Root is one that does say or give organic options. There may be others. I haven't looked into a whole lot of them, but there are, some food services out there that provide options for organic and gluten-free and dairy-free. By and large, you're much better off if you can plan and prepare your own meals. Okay. It's always better to plan your weekly meals out, consolidate your grocery shopping because you know what you're going to eat and work that way. That's always going to be the best practice in order to know exactly what you are getting. Okay. All right. Now, Carlene asked, how do you address osteoporosis if dairy is not an option? Okay. Ladies, dairy is not the only way to get your calcium. Okay. You can get calcium in so many other ways. So calcium you can get from your green leafy vegetables. All right. This is important. You need a lot of vegetables anyway. Increased fiber is going to be so much more helpful in regulating blood sugar, where most of you ladies have an insulin resistance issue, at least a dysglycemic issue. And I talk about this. I give a huge explanation in the masterclass so that you understand this. So you don't want to miss that. But you can get your calcium from greens. You can get your calcium from eating certain fish. Sardines are my favorite. I know some of you are just holding your nose right now. Like, that's disgusting, Doctor. I probably even my own wife is doing the same thing. But sardines, you can get good, wild caught sardines, skinless, boneless. Get those parts out of the way, in extra virgin olive oil. And they're really not that fishy. I like to put the sardines over my salad, in my salad. All right. And I doctor it up, right? I like to have, olive oil over my salad. I like to add organic onion powder as well as Celtic sea salt or pink Himalayan salt ground up, ground pepper. Okay. Chop whatever vegetables, we have, to put in my salad, and then throw in those sardines. Great source of calcium. Okay. And other fish too. Tuna, wild caught tuna, salmon is going to have calcium. So you can get calcium from your food, and you don't need as much as the government recommends. They recommend far too much calcium. Okay. So 350, 400 milligrams of calcium really is all you need, in any given day. Okay. Roberta asks, avocado oil, is that, and olive oil okay? Absolutely. Those are the best kinds of oils. You always want to try to find the avocado oil from Mexico or California. It's not tainted or cut with other kinds of oil like canola. Okay. A lot of times, if you get it from anywhere else, they're going to cut it with canola oil. All right. So that's not going to be good. What is, Lindsay asks, about oatmeal for breakfast. And I think I just answered that question. What's the best thing to have for breakfast instead? So you don't want to do oatmeal, because even though oatmeal is gluten-free, it's still full of starch and sugars and carbohydrates that if you are dealing with a dysglycemic issue, you don't want to touch oatmeal. I know it's good. There's good fiber, all of this that your doctor tells you have oatmeal. No, ladies, if your goal is to release fat and lose weight, okay, if that is your goal, there is no place in your body for oatmeal. Okay, what is your favorite frozen treat? All right, so I love coconut ice cream, coconut milk ice cream. This is not made with cow's milk. This is made with coconut milk and coconut cream. So you can sweeten this with maple syrup, and it's sweet enough. I'm telling you. You see, if you avoid sugar for a couple weeks, you start to change your palate, right? You start to get rid of those sugar cravings, and you can enjoy some fun treats that don't have to be as sweet as what you're used to. In fact, even sometimes even this type of treat is too sweet for me. So you can also make fat bombs, and there are some wonderful recipes for fat bombs. Those need to be frozen anyway, or at least chilled to keep their structure, keep their shape. So those are fun to have, and those are chilled. Okay. Joe Allison asks, I'd like to ask if patients have been able to go back to intermittent fasting after a certain number of health goals are met. So ladies, typically if you have a thyroid issue, an autoimmune thyroid issue, intermittent fasting is not good. This is not going to help you, because fasting is stressful on the body, and when you are low thyroid, you are also low adrenal in function. And when you are low adrenal in function, fasting is not good, and your cortisol will rise, will bump when you fast, because it's just simply it's too stressful on your body to go without this and not have the nourishment that it needs to keep you going. So for most of you, intermittent fasting would not be a good idea, simply if you have thyroid, autoimmune thyroid issues, like most of you probably do. And I explain that more in the masterclass. I'm not going to go down that rabbit trail right now. It's not good. Intermittent fasting is stressful. And so what happens? Your cortisol goes up. And when your cortisol goes up, your blood sugar goes up. If your blood sugar goes up and insulin goes up, and insulin is the fat storing hormone, and that you're going to be stuck in this fat storage mode rather than fat burning. All right. It's not compatible. Right. Okay. I think I made my point. Okay. Dee Dee asks, doesn't motivation go up and down? And this is in relation to some, like mindset, right? So truly, this depends on the strength of your whys, ladies. Think about why you want to make these changes, and you will be more motivated if those whys are deep, if they are big, right? This is something that I definitely, stress in the masterclass, because it is so important that you figure out why you want to have more energy. These whys need to be big. If you want to maintain your motivation, you will review your whys. You will stack them up high as you can. And this is what's going to keep you on track. This is what's going to keep you on target, and not self-sabotage. Because when your motivation wanes, right? You fall off, right? You self-sabotage. And I want you to know, look, this is always a choice. It's always a choice. So in your mind, when you are trying to find the motivation to eliminate foods that are bad for you, it's not about that. It's a change in your mindset. So when you're truly motivated, you're going to think of this differently. You're going to think of giving up these foods. Instead, you are going to decide, why you're doing this. You're going to decide that you're not going to be missing these foods. You're not going to be depriving yourself of these foods. Instead, you're choosing to shift away from the foods that are bad for you. You're choosing consciously to avoid them and not let them be a part of your life anymore. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with this. Don't let others shame you into thinking, shame you for depriving yourself of these foods. Don't let them shame you because you're choosing not to participate in this manner. Look, reassure them that you're in their company because you want to be in their company rather than be linked to the food that they're eating. That's not why you enjoy being in their company, right? So this is a big deal. This is a big deal for why you stay stuck. All right. So, big, good question. Okay. Next. So Susan asks, does seronegative arthritis go hand in hand with hypo or hyperthyroidism? Okay. Seronegative means you're negative in your blood report or blood testing for rheumatoid and other causes of arthritis, autoimmune causes of arthritis. So it doesn't always mean you don't. When you're negative, it doesn't always mean that you don't have those autoimmune issues. Keep that in mind. And this does go along with hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism can certainly cause joint pain. All right. That's independent of having any other sort of arthritis. But you can have those forms of arthritis, especially if you're dealing with autoimmune thyroid issues, because when you have one autoimmune process going on, you're at risk for multiple autoimmune processes. I'm going to have my staff let me know when we're at 30 minutes or 35 minutes, by the way, because I can't see that with my phone oriented. This is a new thing, guys. This is new for me. So it's kind of fun. Glad we were still able to share this time. But anyway, it's kind of new, a little bit different format, right? So back to this question, the autoimmune thyroid certainly can be, linked to arthritis, even if you're not showing positive for any autoimmune process going on. Okay, and Kit asks, and I think she's on tonight. Hi, Kit. Does caffeine affect blood sugar? And it certainly can, because caffeine can cause cortisol to rise. And when cortisol rises, what happens, ladies? Right, that's right. Glucose rises in your blood, and then insulin goes up, and yeah, this is a problem. Kathy asks, so what if your fasting fasting blood sugar varies between 60 and 110? So that's quite a variation, but it's different on different days. Does that depend on where you get the test taken? No, it just means that you probably have an issue with wide variability with your blood sugar. Certainly how long you've been fasting could play into that. The longer you fast, I just spoke about this, the higher your blood sugar is going to get while you're fasting, because of what happens with cortisol. So when you fast, and the longer you fast, you might check your blood sugar 2 hours into a fast or 3 hours into it, or maybe better yet, say first thing in the morning after, you wake up and say it's at around 60 or 70, and then you decide to go a little longer in your intermittent fasting and you go 3 more hours, well, you might find that your blood sugar actually goes up. Like, that's so weird, Dr. Redd. Why would that happen? Well, it's because it affects your cortisol, which raises your blood sugar. It's crazy. All right. Julie asks, what does high white blood cell count mean? I've had this for years, but I don't have fatigue or brain fog. I'm also unable to lose weight despite a clean diet and high fiber. So high white blood cell count means that you have an infection. Something is triggering, is affecting your immune system. And, she likely has autoimmune issues, autoimmune thyroid probably. And, there's going to be this infection that's just not ever being taken care of. Okay. So what would this be? This could be a viral infection, a chronic viral infection. This could be an overgrowth of bacteria in your gut that just holds on for years and years, right? This could be parasites. Okay. So yes, some sort of infection that's hiding and causing, triggering the immune system, and maybe even causing more cortisol so you could have a higher cortisol because of this, and then you just don't lose the weight. Causes higher blood sugars, insulin resistance, and then you just don't lose the weight. Belinda asks, high cholesterol, what does this mean? I've done a couple of different Wellness Wednesdays on cholesterol on this very important topic. So I would encourage you, if you have similar questions, to go learn more from those Wellness Wednesday episodes about cholesterol. But high cholesterol is a symptom. It's a symptom of low thyroid. It's a symptom of blood sugar problems, so dysglycemia and insulin resistance. And it's a symptom of something going on in your liver. Okay, so whether you have fatty liver disease, toxic, a toxic liver, from just a high toxic load, viruses affecting, viral infections affecting the liver. There could be a number of different things, but high cholesterol is caused because you're dealing with these issues. This impacts the health of your cells. And when your cells are sick, guess what? They want cholesterol. They are calling for your liver to bring them more cholesterol. Okay. Because the liver's job is to make LDL and HDL to transport cholesterol to your body. All right. To your brain and to your body. This is so important, you guys. Cholesterol is a basic building block. Cholesterol is the basis for your sex hormones as well, steroid hormones, all of those. They're made from cholesterol. So we don't need to lower it. And I more than answered that question. Okay. Karen asks, is it possible that low thyroid and hormone levels contribute to high blood pressure and high cholesterol? So we just talked about the low thyroid part of that. And if so, what can we do? Well, you've got to take care of those issues, those blood sugar issues. You've got to take care of the thyroid issues. You've got to get the right testing. You've got to take care of the liver issues. Okay. How are we doing for time? Are we at the 25-minute mark yet? Maybe my staff will let me know. Okay. So we're going to go through just a few more questions. Cherie asks, what about taking natural digestive enzymes? So many of you dealing with this hypothyroid issue, low thyroid issue, don't digest your food very well because you don't make enough stomach acid. So when that's the case, yes, taking digestive enzymes is often very helpful, but you got to get some good ones. There's not a whole lot of good ones out there commercially. I don't really recommend any of them, many of them. So you just have to be real careful which ones you choose. When I accept patients into practice, that's one of the things that we often make sure is part of your regimen, because you've got to have good quality digestive enzymes. So ladies, this masterclass coming up, I'm so excited to share this information with you that I have to share during these 3 days, probably more with some bonus sessions, because I always have bonus sessions. There's always too much to share. And so this masterclass starts April 21st, goes through the 23rd. Every night those dates, each night, starting at 7 Mountain Time, 6 Pacific, 8 Central, 9 Eastern Time. We'll go for about an hour, hopefully no more than an hour and a half each of those nights. And the information that I have to share with you is life-changing. It truly is. I can't tell you how many thousands of women I've been able to help by sharing this information, by teaching you why you have a thyroid issue, what's going on with this thyroid issue. Is it just a thyroid issue that are causing issues that are causing the fatigue, causing the brain fog, the depression and anxiety, the weight gain, right? The memory issues. I mean, it's not just brain fog for some of you. Sometimes it's outright memory issues, and poor concentration, right? Some of this is affecting, your work, your ability to work, your ability to be present with your families. And I'm going to show you and teach you why this isn't all in your head. It's not in your head, ladies. We're going to teach you how to test for these issues, how to get the information that you need to know exactly what is going on to cause these issues. What are the root causes for these issues? All right. Why you have the blood pressure issues, why you have the inflammation, the joint pain, just all of these symptoms. You're going to find out why by attending this class. Okay. I can promise you that you will come away from that class with more information, if you haven't ever attended one, more information than you have ever received to be able to change these issues. Because guess what? Change doesn't happen without new information, right? New results happen because of new information. All right. That's what you're going to get by attending this class. And those of you who have attended these classes, I always share new information. So you definitely want to attend again and again and find out, even more information than what you have been able to glean before. You're always going to learn something new. Repetition is key, right? To learning this stuff. Repetition. It takes like 7 to 8 times of repeating something to actually learn it, get it into your long-term memory. Okay. So ladies, don't forget to register. The link to register is going to be in the comment section below this video as well. And it's been plastered throughout the group as well. If you are watching tonight, you are part of this group already, and you shouldn't have any problem accessing the class. All right. So it's just right here, just kind of like we're doing today. Although I know you didn't get a timer at the beginning of this meeting tonight, but, so yeah, when you attend and you're on, you're going to see a timer and you're going to, wait for that to finish and then we'll get started with the session. Okay. All right. Super excited to share this information with you coming up on the 21st of this month. So just a few weeks away. Hope to see you all there. Invite your lady friends and family that have issues that might benefit as well from learning about this. And they can register and they can join the group as well. So there you have it. Perfect. All right. I got through a lot of questions. I still have more. So we're going to pop in. I'm going to pop in, most every day, a couple times a day to try to answer even more questions and, give you all the information that you need to get better. Because that's the goal. New information to help you get better. All right. Thanks for attending Wellness Wednesday tonight. Thanks for being here. Hope that you all have a great evening. Remember that you still have the power to heal. All right. Take care, ladies.